carriages.
Yeah.
So they have servants.
Okay. But I'm just thinking about the logistical or engineering challenges of doing that. So, like for me, it's so hard to dig stuff out and then keep the ground from coming back in and the moisture or water from flowing back into the building. And these buildings were done at a time before we had plastic and stuff like that, where we could stop the water. You know, modern buildings have like a bathtub. They build them in a steel tub.
Stone. It's like porous stone.
Yeah.
So that's why they tank underneath the road there.
Yeah.
It goes underneath it. A lot of these houses have tanked them.
Tank them, yeah, to kind of seal them from but they've had to do that in the modern time, right?
Yeah.
They didn't do that back in the day.
No, because they were coal sheds.
They were coal sheds. But doesn't coal have to stay dry?
What you've got, every single house had a walled garden.
Mm-hmm.
If you go along the Crescent,
Yeah.
you see these. 1, 2, 3.
The manhole covers
That was where the coal went down into. This is a coal shed.
underneath here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But now, how did they stop the water from coming in? That's my question.
Not really any. Not like.
You see, for me, these guys who built this were fantastic engineers. That, you know, and when you look at what's gone on downstairs, you often think, why would they build the window to a bedroom or something at street level, where someone could just put their shoe in, or water would run in, or the weather would go in, and so on? Why would they do that?
Look at the slope of it. You know, they're clever. They built it 8 years to build the facade. But look, that's the whole. It's slightly sloped, so there's nothing going to go.
Yeah.
Never ever has anything gone over there.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had torrential rain.
Yeah.
Look at the lip as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, this crescent is beautifully done.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go into Chelsea and Mayfair in London, and you'll see the same style of where there's lots of space downstairs.
They're new builds.
But what about in town here, where you get those buildings where
the world.
It's what?
It's the oldest crescent in the world.
Really?
This is a landmark.
Yeah.
It's prestigious.
Yeah.
It's the only landmark you can actually stay in.
Wow. Oh, right.
Right. So you can't stay in the Eiffel Tower. You can't stay in the Taj Mahal. You can't stay in the Louvre.
Yeah.
This is the Royal Crescent.
Yeah.
You can actually stay here.
Wow. Well, I know, and people own these places, or it's like a hotel.
Second homes for a lot of them. You can see the shutters. There's 2 prestigious addresses in the whole of the UK: Knightsbridge and the Royal Crescent. And a lot of them have got both of them. So they come here twice a year, but it's the letter heading.
Okay.
Their address is Knightsbridge and Royal Crescent.
Really, that's what you want?
You can't.
Yeah.
That. I mean, you're paying £30 million for a place in Knightsbridge, you know, if you're lucky. But here they go for about 6.5 million.
6.5 million, and there's 30, is it right?
There's 30 houses, but there's only 6 original, all in one house, because they get so much money for the property.
Oh, I see. So they're subdivided, some of them.
Look here. You see, there's 14 apartments in one house.
No way.
Yeah.
14 apartments.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah.
Wow.
But they go for 1.5 million for a pokey small bedroom address.
Wow.
Wow. The Royal Crescent address is what they want.
Wow, that's.
But you see, over the years they've added on Elizabethan.
So there's been later additions to this, and you said the facade took 8 years.
8 years to build the facade, and then everybody bought their property.
Okay.
Plot, and then they built. I'll show you the back.
Sure.
They built their own.
1775. Is that when it was done?
Yeah.
Putting a lot of colour.
Head over into the garden and have a look back.
Thanks very much.
Good.
Drop my phone there. Well, that's a score. Nice fellow. See, it goes at you. Did you hear how much these places cost? I don't need to obvious with the phone. Hi there. How are you doing? Good. Nice to see you. I'm grounding.
Oh, grounded.
You know the expression well grounded? It means that we should be touching the earth, you know, because the earth is an electrical system just like we are. and we should neutralize ourselves with earth. You know, our rubber shoes, typically we don't touch the ground very much anymore in our cars, in our beds, in our homes, and so I try as much as I can to touch the ground. You didn't think much of that. Well, this is a bit of a treat. We'll run the back. Try and take it all in. See, it looks like, see how you said the facade? And did the, because some of these are not even the same size at the back. And the scale of everything, hey? And you hear, he said 14 people now live. That troll in Speaker's Corner who loves to waste my time, our time, he's like, no, people are living better now. It's like, no. One person owned a house that now 14 people subdivide and pay a fortune for. I get that this is a special probably ley line, energy point, and so on. The ancients knew that. That's why our cities are still predominantly in the same places that the ancients put them. I didn't want to argue with that guy about mud flood because it's not going to lead anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. There's people here who obviously think they're very special. You can afford things like this, so I'm going to try and avoid them and avoid upsetting them by thinking I'm filming them. Looks like Jenga here. Big size. Nice vase. What a treat getting to walk around here. I never expected that. Oh, look at this. Is this not a Taurus? Is this not a reciprocating hyperboloid, or a part of it anyway? Is this not a corona? On this spot here? Is this important? Center of the wheel is you and the spokes, your disciplines, your universe, your zodiac. There is energy and symbology in all things. Well, no, in so many things. Let me see the spider's web. Helix. Can't read that. It's modern, it's already faded. Yeah, the facading, eh? Took 8 years to do the facade. Now that makes sense to me. To lay that facade. Let's not make this too obvious. Like I said, there are people here who will feel somewhat impugned by me on camera. I understand that. I'm not going to be a bitch about it. What's this? Interesting. Interesting. There's the lady who was surprised by my barefootedness. The guy who let me in is nice fellow with a penchant for alcohol. So his judgment is not impaired at all. Yeah, downstairs below this wooden gantry is a hole in the floor. Black and white. This is now. Look how low the ceiling is now. This is not very small. Masons.
Okay, so what I mean by
Yeah.
So they bought the plot, the facade, and the land, and then they had all their contractors build.
So the building comes after the facade.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So there's not two buildings the same.
Right. So
You
the banks
see-
are done differently.
You see this staircase here?
Mm-hmm.
It's different to the one that's next door.
Wow.
Just because of, it was their choice to build to their bespoke taste to that.
Right. I see.
Because we're two houses, 15 and 16.
Okay.
So that's why.
Okay. So you've got two different styles in two.
Yeah. Something. But yeah, it's,
Fascinating.
we've only got the two houses.
Okay.
And number one is worth a visit. It just shows how the original house was
Okay.
250 years ago. With the kitchen and the parlour and the drawing room. So it doesn't have to
Until 11.
10:30.
Okay.
10:30.
Okay. Oh.
Or thereabouts.
Well.
Fascinating.
It is fascinating. You worked here long?
19 years.
19 years.
Yeah. Only.
Wow.
Only.
Are you a local guy from
Yeah.
what?
I'm from Wales.
Oh, okay.
Got school in Wales, so pretty much it's there local.
Okay. I'm going to Wales tomorrow.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then I'm going to try and go further to the coast.
Go to the Gower.
The Gower.
The Gower coast is like a map.
Okay. Oh, really? I'll go and check it out.
See that.
Thanks for that.
Nice to meet you.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too.
Wow. Did you enjoy that? That was fun. I can unpick that for a while. So they built the facade, but built the houses later. What if the houses were there and they put the facade on to make it look uniform? Hi there. What about that? What about that? Wow. That was a lot to take on board in a short amount of time, you know. And I know I'm an outsider, and that American lady who said hello You can tell they're well heeled. You know, and a guy in no shoes is such a trigger. It's like, this must be homeless. This must be, you know, if I had on a pair of recognizably high-end loafers, you know, and maybe not this cheap t-shirt, which I rescued from. We were taking some stuff to the charity. We were slimming things down. We'd come together with a bag or two recently that we'd had in storage. And so I was going to get rid of it because it says come back to Cali, and well, I'm not into all of that. But this doesn't add up, really. I mean, coal bunkering, it's just so much work, guys. Wouldn't you just rather build a coal bunker out the back? Just build a coal bunker out the back. And that guy was wrong about saying, you know, coal needs to, I think it must stay dry. Wet coal just disintegrates. Oh, check out this car. And that's a long car. I've stayed in places smaller than this car. Got gold looking a left-hand drive. Probably came from Europe then. English plates. But like the guy said, it costs millions to stay in this place, and you go in the back there and it just looks like it was built by some children, you know. It really does. It's not well made, and that matches with what you see on the inside of sometimes where this inside of a church is exposed. And one of these ones with a similar cladding, the bath stone, that is also higgledy-piggledy red brick. But this wasn't all that red, but it's higgledy-piggledy brickwork, not very high quality, you know. And then yeah, the interior is done differently from one house to the next. So it's not one guy, you know, when in people's minds, when they look at this, they go, oh yeah, that was Brunel, that was, you know, that was that engineer. So all he did was, oh, I'll just put a facade up and then I'll just let people decide, you know, they can just do their own thing. Not only can they do their own thing, but they're going to have to make their own dig, because in the back, behind the facade, we saw that there is, behind the building, there is more of a dig. Like this, so that had to be done at the same time, or by those people individually along each house individually in the set, and that again doesn't make sense. What if the original brick houses were here arrayed in some way? That's what we saw, and you can go back and look at my footage from the back of the house there. And then some decision is made a few hundred years ago to create a different story. How do you do that? How do you do that? Hi there. Do you live here? Oh, that's pretty cool.
No, our large house has a lot of space outside, whereas here it's a pavement for a morning cigarette.
You have no space outside?
Not here, no, not here. So we've got a big house elsewhere, so we come here for a few days, and it's summer, isn't it?
And you're going to be here for Michael Bublé?
Yes, we are.
I only heard about that this morning, and that's why they've closed all of this off. Do you live upstairs or in the basement? Do you stay in the basement?
Straight across.
Oh, okay.
So, it's lovely.
It's beautiful. It's not my first time here, but it is.
Whereabouts are you from?
All over. I've lived in London for about 27 years, but currently I'm from all over, and I spent the last year in South Africa.
I did. That might be the case.
I was raised there. I was born in Dorset, but I was raised in South Africa.
Oh, our best friend's South African, so yes.
Oh yeah? Where from? I stopped the video there just because I didn't want to be too in her face. Just have a quick chat about whatnot. She didn't have a lot of time. She's a lawyer. She's got to go to court this morning. this is not their main house. This is a kind of, you know, they come here for a little while. It sounds like just what the guy was saying to me. You know, there's some people, this is their second home. They have a much bigger house, big gardens and whatnot in their other house. Of course, Lucinda was very posh, but I was able to say about mudflood actually, and that we're electromagnetic, and and that there is a usurpation of the self-mastery inherent in a system of control such as the one we find ourselves in. And she also knew the story of this being facade and everybody getting to build their own behind. It's just such a stupid idea. Such a stupid idea. Really. Everything's inverted in this world. That's all back to front. Anyway, so yeah, we've got tourism coming today from Bath, and there's Lucinda, the light bringer. Yeah, activism here in Bath today. We'll see what happens. But this is mudflood territory. Anyway, I said mudflood. I said 500 years. Hopefully, being a lawyer, she's got a memory like an elephant or whatever they say. And she'll, in her free time, be annoyed enough by this barefooted, homeless dude. She'll be like, I'm going to research that and prove to him in my own mind that he's a kook. So this is flat number 1. This is 2, but I think possibly this is number 1 here on the corner. All of these 3 windows. I mean, you see how you've got 1, 2, 3 windows for 1 unit on facing this side. It's phenomenal. Anyway, this is the one that's the museum, apparently, how they originally were. It's wide, isn't it? It's a good size, you've got to say. 3 stories at that width. 4 stories, I'm sorry. He said 5 to me, the guy. Why did he say 5? Oh, because right up top there, on the roof, the later edition, I think. There. 5 stories. This wide. Wow. It is a big place, to be fair. And now there's 14, so living in one. And the posh Lucinda has 1 floor, I think. So 1/5 of one. But not the basement. No. We know of people who live in the basement, but we do not. That's servitude, servants' quarters, isn't it? Servants and coal. Well, we went to a lot of trouble for our servants and coal. Draining, etc. Anyway, I better get back to the family. And then there's some activism later. Cheers.